Hello everyone and welcome to the Nations Cup. I had no idea how I even made it into this race, to be honest, but let's go through the grid first and then I'll explain why I say that. TRL first place, 154.6, that was very fast lap. Then Derek, had a good race with Derek earlier in the week, and then we got Zoki, then we got Nizman. We've seen Nizman a while ago actually in my commentaries. If you haven't checked out the GT 500 Championship, do check that out, it was awesome. We've got Poop K there, remember him from the last Nations Top 24 Superstars. He came second I think in that one, so well played to him. A few other guys here, we've got TS Racing Racer, you've got Spalding there, we've seen him a few times. We've got Jamie, we know Jamie, very clean racer, big shout out to him. Nice livery there by WRT. Christian 94, we've raced him a couple of times, never really been close racing. We've got Juju there, he was in last week's I think. We've got Thomas, so we've not seen him very often. Jabberwocky, we've got Paul JW there in a very nice livery, as is that by, well, I assume that's meant to be Max Verstappen. We've got Seb there. We've got an AMG Mercedes there in Treviso. But let's get to the race now. I always want to do that because, you know, some of the liveries are good. It's nice seeing who is what and just showing off some of these top 24 superstars. As you can see, I've got an AMG right behind me as well. But one of the things I noticed this week, and it was in a PSN chat actually after I finished the race, even in 35th position of the rankings, obviously you get ranked in order to get into this lobby, was an SS driver. The standard to get into this lobby now is ultra high. You've got to have a super clean SR rating and a very high DR rating. So do keep that in mind when you're racing in the other races, that if you are going into dirty daily sport mode races, perhaps you want to avoid those because you need the highest rating possible to get into these races. So let's get into this race. Why am I starting 8th on one of my favourite tracks? Why am I not in pole position or anywhere near that actually? Because I think I was like 9/10 off pole position time. So whether you know or not, or whether you saw the video, the Rallycross video last week, no, it was sometime this week anyway, or last week, as I released this video. I was in the Rallycross esports tournament, which Project Cars 2 is hosting, big prize pool, etc. So that happens on a Saturday, and this obviously happens on a Saturday. I made the final this time, and the video for that will be later on this week. In fact, it might be tomorrow, so do keep an eye out for that. It's some good rallying, rallycrossing. However, when the final finished, I am not joking, I had to jump on here. I did about 4 laps, and then I made it into this top 24 superstars. So in fact, I qualified 8th. Again, like last week, I was well happy with this. A bit less happy that it was 8th, not higher, like at Suzuka. But even so, I still managed to qualify 8th. And as you can see, I was always looking forward at this point because I know I can get quicker and quicker and quicker. Although I make a bit of a mistake there into the gravel. But as I say, I can get quicker and quicker and quicker because I've literally just jumped on. So the time will always improve. And then, as you saw, I think my qualifying time was a 1:55.4, so I'm expecting a 54. I think my potential was in the 54s straight away after a few laps. So the 54 definitely there. Even so, we continue racing. We can see McLaren 6 up ahead. He's going to be the top UK guy in this at the moment because we've got, I think, Favorus is Hungarian, and then, yeah, well, you can see all the nations on the left-hand side. So McLaren 6, I think, is the highest British guy. I obviously want to be the highest British guy, so we're going to push towards McLaren 6. So we head down towards turn 1 here. And because we've not had that many practice laps, you're going to see my throttle inputs here. Very cautious with the throttle. It's quite oversteering now, the Porsche. Even though it's had a bop change, I think it dropped to power. It seems still very oversteering. Yeah, I'm not that confident. So that's why I'm, you know, this far down on the grid. Whereas in the M4, I was more confident. I could push a little harder, and actually that's why I was 4th in that qualifying, even though I had a few minutes practice. So if you look at this now, we're under pressure from VP Beloff in the AMG there, so I just give him just enough room. There's a slight tap there, but that's nothing. You know, when you're so close on these corners, sometimes there will be slight contact. You know that's not malicious, so we keep fighting now as we head towards the hairpin. I'm hoping he doesn't try and go for the move here. Is he going to go for the move? He does go to the right hand side, so I'm going to give him room. I'm going to try and go around the outside, try and get a bit more momentum here. But, as I say, I'm a bit cautious with the throttle there. I see he gets ahead, so I'll just try and pull in right behind him. Because I know I can make this move elsewhere, perhaps a chicane, perhaps even just before that on the straight, try and get on the inside. We've got TS Racing behind us as well, so we've got to be careful of that as we come into the left-hander here. One of my favourite corners. I'm really quick on this corner, by the way. As you've seen throughout this video, I'll catch them up. As you can see, VP Beloff has a bit of a mistake there. Gives me room on the outside, which is fair enough, but on the right side, TS Racing Racer makes takes full advantage of that up the inside. So now I'm thinking, well, where the hell do I go? And Hugo Spalding's in there as well. So we go 2x2 up towards the chicanes. I'm thinking, what do we do here? Hugo Spalding takes a bit of a cautious idea there, probably a good idea as well, so fair play to him. Just pulls in behind knowing that 2x2 through the chicane is not the best idea. However, I do keep that in mind. I give him a bit of room on the inside there because he does go for the move. He gives me room on the outside. Really fair racing that by Hugo Spalding, but we continue on with the race. And we start lap number 3. We've just dropped positions here. It's not like us, is it? We should be pushing ahead. As I say, I was looking at McLaren 6, but now we're looking this far back. And that's racing sometimes. You know, if someone makes a mistake, say you make a mistake, you lose a position. Then that guy makes a mistake, costs you time. TS Racing Racer took full advantage of that, which is fair enough. Managed to get that position. So now we're going to look to try and get back that 8th position. And then maybe, because it's a 15-lap race, catch up to McLaren 6 and see if we can actually make those positions up. That's the thought going through my head at the moment, and I'm trying to get into the zone. As I say, I've just done rallycross. Circuit racing to rallycross is completely different, trust me. When you've just done loads of rallycross for 3 hours, and then you jump into this just to have a quick race, yeah, it's pretty sketchy, let's just say that. So we continue pushing on, as we head down towards the hairpin. And as we come into here, still looking all good here. And we're keeping up with these guys, so I'm not in too much of a rush. But the gap to Spalding, staying as it is, which is fine. That's what I want. Keep it as it is. I don't want him to get too close because I want to be able to attack and not have to defend at the same time. It's the hardest thing to do in racing, attack and defend, because if you're doing one or the other, you're going to lose time. So, you know, it's a very hard spot. But as you can see, TS Racing Racer putting a lot of pressure on VP Beloff at the moment. As we come out of that corner. I think next week, by the way, with the esports, the Rallycross is being streamed second after the PC, so I'm not going to make the nation's top 24 superstars. However, I'm going to try and make the manufacturers one this time. It'd be nice to see different cars, so we'll see what we can do there. I'll keep you posted on that though in one of the videos this week. We're trying to go daily at the moment because there's so much racing, but we'll see what we can do. As you see, we get very close now to TS Racing Racer. Keeping up with him here as we cross the start finish line and start lap number 4. Continue pushing on. We're going to be in the slipstream here as we head down towards this corner. As you've got to be very careful on the throttle here. As you can see, he runs a bit wide. I sort of follow him a little bit. That's kind of happens in racing. When you're that close, you'll brake and they'll brake, and then you'll just follow them out wide. Very strange action, but it happens. As we come into here, you can see VP Beloff just ran a little bit wide there. Always take that left hand side grippy section. It will pull you around a little bit more than the tarmac. As we continue on, TS Racing Racer running very wide there. As we finish sector 1 again. See, 2 temps down. Now, I don't even know what the fastest sector is for that sector, but I'm imagining it's a 0.6. And I didn't touch 0.6 once. Could even be a 0.5 to be honest. As I said, I was 9 tenths off the pole lap. And as you can see, Favaros in the race has done a 54.5, which is unbelievable lap times, because that's what the top 10 laps were. So really fair play to him. Obviously in TRL, as you can see, Hugo Spalding, give him room, but I catch the rear there, and Hugo Spalding hits me. But that's not Hugo Spalding's fault. So this is the thing. Say for example Azorian last week, where he just dive bombs, and that is his fault. That to me is more my fault than anybody else's. So just clip the gravel there. And then the rear's gone, so I catch the rear, and then Hugo Spalding's just hit me. As you just look at WRT Ghost coming on the inside there, I give him a bit of room because I can see he's not giving that up. And then the whole rear just goes in the car. I'm assuming I've got gravel on the tyres still, so I'm falling to the back of the grid. But as I was saying, with Hugo Spalding, he's obviously just pulled back in, and I've lost the car a little bit. So that tap, that's just a racing incident. I'm not angry at that in the slightest. He does apologise after as well. I'm just like, yo, Hugo, it's not your fault. You know, it's my fault really for losing the car. You'll have to have reactions of Superman to do that. We've advanced a little bit now because we've got a lot of catching up to do. Really lots of catching up to even make any positions. We're meant to be finishing 12th in this, according to the number, and we're in 23rd. I don't think we are going to get to 12th, but let's see what we can do. We're going to push hard now, and we're going to get into a bit of a rhythm. If we head towards the hairpin, we're chasing down Seb and Jabberwocky, and then we've also got Treviso in there as well. So our 3 guys in sight here, and I don't know if you saw as we went through the grid, their times or the times of the guys at the back were around the late 156s, 57s. So that's about a second and a half advantage that we have. As you can see, Jabberwocky and TWR Seb side by side now to come to this left-hander. Not the best place to be side by side, but if you can do it, it can work. As you can see, it just runs slightly wide there, goes for the inside. Slight contact, but I just think, thank you very much, lads, I'll take this. So we make up 2 positions through there. I'm not sure the move was really on for Seb there, so pretty naughty, but I don't know what's gone on prior in the race. That could be a bit of a revenge thing. Obviously, don't get revenge all the time. If the guy's done it to you 3 times, like I say, Azorian was known, like, you saw the messages, that's like 5 times. I don't know what's happened there, so I can only comment on what I see, which was, I don't think the move was really on, to be fair. Even so, we're up to 21st, and we'll advance it a bit further. And we're lap number 8 now, so we're about just over halfway through. We've just done our quali lap, 155.4, so you can see we're getting into the rhythm of this car now. And we're pushing hard as we catch up to Treviso in the AMG. Let's have a look what we can do here. So coming to this left-hander, very tricky left-hander. You use the throttle mostly, you don't want to really brake, but he gets a low load of oversteer, and he sort of lets me go at this point, which is very nice of him. He doesn't have to. Gives me loads of room on the inside, so through I go into 20th position. Someone's obviously left behind, but we push on. Lap number 10, we've caught up to the next pack. We're doing quite well here, aren't we? And as you can see on lap number 8, we've got a 155.3, and I think this actually is an even faster lap that we're on. So GT Boca Momo, is it Momo? Yes, it is. Really pushing hard on Verstappen here, and we just get a bit loose there. Try and push on again. No, that wasn't a fast lap. There is a faster lap in this, by the way. As I say, keep getting quicker and quicker and quicker. But that looks kind of like I'm super consistent. But you saw I made a mistake. 155.7, 155.7. But we're coming to the first corner. And at this point in time, because I like explaining what I'm thinking. I know that was asked last time. Does my goal change? You know, as a race, if I overtake somebody, does it then become the next goal? So at this point, I'm looking at 17th and thinking, okay, I've got 4 laps. 17th is going to be best possible scenario here at the moment. The gap further up seems a bit far. I can't really see the driver, so we can still get 17th. As I say, lap times they were in 156s, 157s. I'm in the 55, so you know I'm doing all right, especially with like the amount of practice I've had. So as we come into this right-hander, all I'm thinking now is where can I overtake them? I'm sort of hoping the same thing happens prior, like Seb and Jabberwocky did, because then it gets me clean through. And as you can see on the right side, the guy in 16th is pretty far away. I'd need something to happen there, but I nearly make a mistake, nearly go into the guy, but I stop the car just in time. I'll say everyone makes mistakes at the end of the day. You just saw a mistake by me. I make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. As we come through the left-hander now and then the right, we are pushing hard here because we really do want to just make as many positions as we can. As you can see, it looks to make the move but comes back inside. Really clean racing by these guys, by the way. You can really see they're trying very hard to race clean, and it's showing. It's good racing. And as I say, and I've always said in all these videos, which is really annoying you probably, a good battle, a clean battle, fair battle is much better than just a dirty battle racing for the victory or even getting the win through dirty methods. But as you can see, I follow Boca Momo here because he gets the run, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be a bit cheeky here. Let's try the overtake at the chicane. So I get far enough along, in my opinion, where I'm allowed to be there, and I kept it there, and I managed to get the position. Fair play to Verstappen. He gave me room. He saw that I was just there on the apex. I didn't get slowed down. I was just in the track. I mean, literally just. So we got that position. Up to 19th we are. Now we're back on the back of GT Boca Momo. So let's try the same thing again. So we're pushing hard. I'm going to go to the right-hand side. And you really can only do this normally when you're side by side like this, and I'm ahead at this point. So I can brake fairly late here. And I do that, but I give him room, of course. Give him racing room. I brake a bit too late. I just make it on again. He gives me room as well, GT Boca Momo. Fair play again. Honestly, this is the kind of racing I like. Everyone is fair here. Everyone's racing clean. But now, look at the gap. We've got 3 seconds, and we have 3 laps to get to Paul JW. Can we do it? And does GT Boca Momo come back at me? Here's a question, because if he comes back at me, it's going to be very hard to do it. And as I said earlier, we were in the they were in the 56 and 57s, and I was in the 55s. So it's possible I can do this, and that is my goal at this point, is to catch up to Paul JW and overtake him. So, do we do it? We start the last lap. we're under the second barrier here. So we've done a second a lap. We've broke the gap to Boko Momo. This is the final lap. So I'm pushing hard at this point. I'm in a rhythm here. I thought I did go faster than a 55.3. Obviously I don't then. Who knows? As we come through this left-hander now, I'm pushing all the time. You can see that gap constantly going down, constantly going down. I see he makes a slight mistake here, doesn't go on the grippy part of the circuit. Gives me a bit more time here. Through the right-hander. Accelerate as fast as I can. As you can see, I put the throttle down a little bit earlier. Accelerate towards the first sector, end of the first sector. We get a 0.7 there. So a really good first sector. We're a 1/10.5 up on our time. So 4 tenths now is the gap. We're closing as we come out of this right-hander now and head towards the hairpin. Hairpin, a good place to really gain some ground here because it's all about trail braking in the hairpin. That's one thing people don't really realise is it is trail braking. You can trail brake in, keep the momentum going, accelerate out. Look at the amount of time we gain there on Paul JW. It's a lot as we're still 1.5 tenths up as we come through the Schumacher rest now. Flat out 4th gear. We did this the fastest we've ever done it so far in the race as we head now towards the left-hander. The leader's finished, so congratulations to TRL Favourus for that victory. Really fast laps, 54.4. Fastest lap, that's unbelievable time. But let's focus on this. Paul JW really doing a really good job here defending as we now come out of that corner. 1.5 tenths still up on our time. We're going to try the same trick, or I think I'm going to try the same trick, but this time I'm not far enough ahead in my opinion, so I'm thinking, right, I'm going to do the cutback here. I want to do the cutback, but he brakes at just the perfect spot really where I can't do it. So I'm thinking last corner, he could get it wrong in the last corner, so I'm going to keep pushing. Is he going to get it wrong in the last corner? That's the question. So he's come through here because the car can get slippy. You saw that earlier on in the race, but it doesn't. So really fair play to Paul JW for that defensive driving there. Really fair play. As you see, I'm happy with that. You know, good racing at the end of the day. Really good racing. Congratulations to Favourus for that victory as well. I hope you enjoyed that video. Something a little bit different in the fact I'm fighting from the back. A mistake in there, a couple of crashes. But that's it from the Nations Cup. As I say, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.